Weeks 4 and 5 of the 2024 NFL season are here. As today, the Broncos head to MetLife facing off against the Jets, followed by a return home against our division rivals, the Las Vegas Raiders. The Broncos are looking to bounce back after losing our first two games of the season in the last episode, dropping a pair against the Steelers and the Buccaneers. Against Pittsburgh, we really struggled, especially defensively in the first half, and while we picked it up as the game went along, it was ultimately too little too late. Against the Bucs, it was kind of the opposite. We played really well defensively to start the game, but Rachaad White ended up scoring 3 touchdowns, and our offense had their worst game of the season thus far. So far, the Bo Nix era has had its ups and downs. I wouldn't say he's been bad through 3 weeks, but I also wouldn't say he's been good either. He's been perfectly adequate up to this point, meeting expectations. Fittingly, we're going to be asked about him here in our upcoming press conference, and I think the biggest thing that I can say that I've been impressed with is the avoidance of turnovers. He's only thrown 1 interception, albeit that came at a really bad time late in the game against the Steelers, but otherwise he's done a good job of protecting the football. I don't really think there's any other unit of the offense that's been all that impressive, so I guess I'll give credit to the offensive line because the pass blocking hasn't been horrible. The run blocking over the last 2 weeks has not been particularly good, though, and the skill position players really have not been all that fantastic so far. So let's take a look at our Week 4 opponent, the New York Jets, who have had an interesting start to the year. They're 2-1, but their 2 wins are each by 1 point. Now, they did beat the Niners on the road, but they barely beat New England last week. They're coming off a Thursday night football game, which means they get a few extra days off, but they're also going to London next week, so maybe that's in the back of their minds coming into this game. Of course, they're led by Aaron Rodgers, who's now 40 years old, but is still a very solid quarterback. Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson lead a really fun skill position group, but they'll be without both Mike Williams and Allen Lazard today, relying on younger receivers such as Malachi Corley and Xavier Gibson. No Tyron Smith as well on the offensive line. It'll be the rookie out of Penn State, Olu Fashanu, who makes his first NFL start. And then, of course, the Jets defense, as we know, was tremendous last year, but this season has gotten off to kind of a slow start, and we'll see if they are able to get things going here in Week 4 against our offense. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Week 4 here at MetLife. Broncos looking to snap a 2-game losing streak, as we will start with the football. First play from scrimmage at the 26. Nix looks to throw it. He's intercepted! Chuck Clark picks it off on the first play of the game. Breaks the tackle from Bo and is wrapped up at the 1-yard line by McGlinchey and Sutton. What a start for the New York Jets as they force a turnover on the first play of the game and get the ball at the 1. We were giving credit to Bo Nix, how he's avoided turnovers, only 1 through his first 3 games, and then he does that. It looked like Reynolds was kind of open, but Bo did not put enough zip on that pass, leading to plenty of room for Chuck Clark to be able to make the play and get a nice return out of it as well. So the Jets are going to start with as good a field position as you can ask for, quite literally at the 1-yard line, not even, maybe more like the half-yard line. First and goal, Rodgers and empty, oddly enough, as he looks short, and it's caught for a score by Garrett Wilson. Certainly not a good first 17 seconds to this game. We throw an interception, the Jets score a touchdown, and already it is 7-0 in favor of New York. While that may be the worst 17-second start in NFL history, let's look at the positives. A helicopter could have flown into the stadium, causing it to explode with no survivors. But otherwise, that's as bad of a start as we could have asked for. Second and 6, Nix drops back. Under pressure, he is sacked. Quinnen Williams and Hassan Reddick bring him down for a loss of 8. This Jets pass rush has plenty of talent up front, and already with an early sack on Nix. Third and 14, Bo looks to throw it, looking downfield, wants it all, and it is incomplete as he was trying to send it towards Courtland Sutton, but it's broken up by the veteran free agent signing Bobby McCain as the Jets get it back for their first real drive of the game. And here's Tyler Conklin, who gets it to around the 32-yard line. So already, New York is moving it quickly as they look to add to their early lead. On first down, Rodgers looks to throw it. Goes back to Conklin, gets by Griffith inside the 10, and he's wrapped up at the 3-yard line by P.J. Locke and Brandon Jones. A huge gain for the tight end, as on 1st and goal, Breece Hall is stuffed at the 1, and Breece appears to be hurt on the play. Bad news for the Jets. This is one of the best young running backs in the NFL. Going to the locker room, his day might be over. The MetLife turf remains undefeated. We'll likely see a number of backs in the backfield, but most notably it'll be the 4th-round rookie, Braylon Allen. On the following play, Malachi Corley, the rookie out of Western Kentucky, is in for a score. And the Jets already lead 14-0, and we're not 4 minutes in. 2nd and 1, Nix on the run, fires, and it's hauled in finally for a first down as Marvin Mims brings it to the 41-yard line. We've seen some good flashes so far from Mims in a receiving core that hasn't really had anybody step up as the true number 1. 3rd and 5, Javonte gets by the defender, breaking multiple tackles, and he is pushed out of bounds by Michael Carter II, one of the more underrated slot corners in the NFL, at the 24. Now in the red zone, 3rd and 5, Nix looks for the sideline. It's broken up by Sauce Gardner, the all-pro corner. We might have the 2 best corners in the NFL in this game with Sauce and Patrick Surtain. 37-yard try for Will Lutz is good, and the Broncos are on the board as it's 14-3. Hey, we made progress on that drive. Rome was not built in a day. Jets back at it. Rodgers on 1st down under pressure. He is sacked. Jonathan Cooper brings him down, and it looks like John Franklin Myers, the former Jet, was there as well. That's the first sack for this defense since week 1. We have had no pass rush over the last 2 weeks, so it's refreshing to get a sack there. 3rd and 14. Rodgers on the run. It's incomplete for Braylon Allen, and the Denver defense forces a 3-and-out. That'll lead to a punt. Broncos with it with excellent field position from the 38. Nix rolls right, on the run, hoping somebody gets open as he fires it into tight coverage, and it's hauled in by Josh Reynolds, who brings it to the 23-yard line, and that'll move the chains for the Broncos. 2nd and 6 from the 19, under 2 to go in the first. A loss of yardage here for the rookie, Andrick Estime, as he's wrapped up by the first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Jermaine Johnson. 3rd and 9, Nix up the middle, he fires, and that one goes for a first down. It's Josh Reynolds again, who of course did not play last week against Tampa Bay. Tim Patrick got the start over him, and Tim Patrick played a great game. Nix, his pass is broken up on 3rd and 10. He was looking for Sutton in the end zone, and that'll wrap up the first quarter. Mostly not good. We're down 14-3, but you can make the argument that we were the better team over the last 6 minutes of the quarter. We're making progress. We're playing better, but those first few minutes were a complete utter disaster. Big Nuts Lutz from 27 is good to start the second. He is 2 for 2 on the afternoon, and would you look at that, it's only a 1-score game, 14-6. Jets back with it after a 3-and-out on their previous possession. Man in motion here on 1st down. That's Jeremy Ruckert, as it's a handoff for Braylon Allen, the rookie out of Wisconsin, the youngest player in the NFL this year, as he gets it to around midfield, and it looks like Malcolm Roach is banged up. A few injuries on both sides up to this point, as the Jets now have it at midfield. Following play, Rodgers looks to throw it under pressure. He is brought down. Jonah Ellis, the rookie out of Utah, with his 2nd sack of the year. A rough start so far for Olu Fashanu at left tackle. He's already allowed 2 sacks. 3rd and 19. Rodgers rolls left, and he is sacked again. Baron Browning delivers the boom, and that'll force another punt for the Jets. Olu Fashanu has led up 3 sacks here in the first quarter plus of this game, as Baron Browning finally gets his first sack of the year. That leads to another punt, and it feels like the momentum in this game is quickly shifting. Up the middle, Jaleel McLaughlin breaks the ankles of the safety as he gets a solid first down run to the 40. Denver's injury luck on this drive has been less than ideal. They had 4 consecutive plays with starters getting hurt. Tackles, Garrett Bowles and Mike McGlinchey, along with receivers Josh Reynolds and Marvin Mims, as Javonte gets the first down to the red zone. Of the 4 injuries, I don't think any of them are going to be super serious, but the Mike McGlinchey one could be one to watch. Otherwise, I think the other 3 guys will be fine. Nix evades the sack on the run. He gets the first down. That should have been a loss of about 12, but Bo Nix's underrated athleticism bails him out of the clean pocket for a nice gain. And then here on 1st and goal, it's the rookie, Troy Franklin, with his first NFL touchdown. The Oregon Duck connection strikes for a score, and Denver will make the deficit within 1. Nice throw there by Bo Nix under a little bit of pressure, connecting with his former college teammate. And again, the first of hopefully many NFL scores for Troy Franklin. We ended up going for the 1 rather than the 2-point conversion to tie it. I feel like it's too early in the game to try to get cute and go for the 2. 3rd and 8, pass is broken up for Garrett Wilson as it's broken up by Patrick Surtain, and that'll lead to another punt. 3 consecutive stalled drives for the Jets. The momentum in this game is now completely shifted towards the Broncos, a far cry from where we were, say, 12 minutes ago. 3rd and 1, Javonte Williams with plenty of space gets the first down to the 49. If only he had breakaway speed and could have cut to the outside past DJ Reed, but still a good run there for Williams. Now at the 36, Nix on first down, looking deep. He's got Sutton. Bo Nix has targeted Sauce Gardner a lot today. Interesting strategy. Mostly hasn't been successful, but he was there. 3rd and 9, now at the 15, following the 2-minute warning. Nix under pressure, throws out of the sack. It's incomplete. Jermaine Johnson with the pressure. But Denver should be able to take the lead here with a field goal try from Lutz. 32-yarder is good, and the Broncos are now ahead 16-14 with 16 consecutive points. The Jets have done nothing on offense over the last 15 minutes. We'll see if they can respond now that they've got a little sense of urgency on this drive as Garrett Wilson gets the first down. Following play, Wilson again brings it past the 50 to the 44. Now all of a sudden the Jets are starting to get a little something going. From the 44-yard line, Rodgers connects. It's hauled in by Malachi Corley this time, who's a full-time starter the rest of the year with Mike Williams suffering a season-ending hip injury a few weeks ago. Wilson gets it at the 2. Huge gain for the Jets. And all of a sudden, now that they have to move quick and have a little pressure, their offense is looking really good. So much so that they can choose some clock now. 1st and goal, Rodgers short. Touchdown for Tyler Conklin. And the Bronco lead ends up being short-lived. The New York Jets are back ahead, 21-16. And Denver gets it back here with not a lot of time left in the half. We're sitting at 11 seconds remaining now as Nix goes short. It's caught by Troy Franklin, and he gets it to the 41-yard line. Denver calls their second timeout. And with around 6 seconds left, they will try to run another play and get closer to field goal range because this will be a 58-yarder. Here's Greg Dulcich. Short gain, gets around 4. And the Broncos quickly call their last timeout with a second left here in the half. And we will likely see the field goal unit come out onto the field. 54-yarder for Will Lutz with the wind facing him. His kick is up, and it is money! Big nuts Lutz. 4 for 4 here in the first half, and the lead is within 2. And what has been an exciting first half. No shortage of action so far here at MetLife. 21-19, the Jets with the lead over the Broncos. Now for our halftime report. Why is the map so dark? That doesn't make any sense, but we'll roll with it. Starting with an NFC South battle in the ATL. Another high-scoring start here with the Saints and the Falcons, as this one is knotted up at 17 apiece. Derek Carr and Kirk Cousins, the 2 veteran quarterbacks, off to strong starts so far. Both of these teams 1-2, looking to make it up to 500 in what should be a competitive NFC South. The Falcons, of course, with a brutal schedule to start the year, looking to rebound with this matchup against New Orleans. Let's head to Chicago. It has been a very rough start for the number 1 pick, Caleb Williams, and his struggles continue in this game. The Rams with control over the Bears so far. They lead 14-0. Caleb Williams with the same amount of completions to his own team today as he does interceptions. And the former Heisman Trophy winner's rough start to his NFL career continues, while Matthew Stafford is 8 for 10 with a score. And then we head up to Lambeau, an NFC North matchup with the Vikings and the Packers. It's been the Jaden Reed show up to this point. 2 receptions for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns for the second-year pro out of Michigan State. Packers lead 14-7 in what has been a pretty exciting start up to this point. As for Minnesota, they look to make it above 500, of course, with Sam Darnold leading the way at quarterback thanks to the season-ending meniscus injury in the preseason for the top 10 draft pick, J.J. McCarthy. As we go into the second half, I really feel like we've played really good football over the last 15 or so minutes. Obviously, we started off rough, but we've definitely picked it up. Bo Nix threw the interception early, but since then, I think he's been quite good. I want to see his efficiency, though, in the intermediate game improve. Defensively, Rodgers has attacked us short, That's where we've had some issues. But outside of the first two drives, the Jets offense really hasn't been impactful. They will go deep here for Xavier Gibson. Down the field, breaks the tackle from Locke and gets it to the 3. That's the big play the Jets offense needed in what has been a struggle for them since the first quarter. They get the biggest offensive gain of the day as it goes for over 50 yards. Certainly not good coverage there by the Broncos, and a missed tackle from the starting safety, P.J. Locke, who, to put it nicely, has been pretty abysmal out there through the first few games of the year. Rodgers goes short. It's caught by Garrett Wilson for a score. Aaron Rodgers with his 4th passing touchdown of the day, second of which caught by Garrett Wilson, and it's back to his 2-score lead, 28-19. Broncos back with it, looking to respond on offense. From the 39, here is Bo Nix. Up the middle, fires, and it's hauled in by Adam Troutman with a juke move. And the veteran tight end brings it to the 32. Nice gain there for Denver as they're moving it well so far on this possession. On 2nd and 11, Samaje Perine loses 2. It's the All-Pro, Quinnen Williams, who sends him home, and that'll lead to a 3rd and 13 now for Denver. Nix looks to throw it under pressure and has to throw it away, making sure he keeps the Broncos in field goal range as a sack would have took them out. So ultimately, Denver's actually not going to go for the field goal. They will punt it. It would be a 53-yarder for Lutz. Keep in mind he made one from 54, but I would rather win the field position battle, and truthfully, I wouldn't have kicked that 54-yarder in a normal scenario. It's just that there was 1 second left in the half, and we didn't really have another choice. I would rather punt the ball here because I think the defense has been playing well as of recent, and sure enough, that decision proved to be correct. Aaron Rodgers with 3 incompletions, and that'll lead to a punt. Broncos get it back at the 41, plus field position as Nix goes short. Javonte Williams with it, and he gets a first down to around the 42-yard line. Good play after the catch, and just like that, Denver's right back in square one. Efficient start so far here in the third quarter for Nix, as it is now 3rd and 1 from the 33-yard line. Could Denver be in 2-down territory? Handoff. No, it's a play-action fake. Nix fires. It's caught by Sutton with room. High steps into the end zone for a touchdown, his 2nd of the year. And it is a 1-score game once again. Bo Nix with his 2nd passing touchdown of the afternoon as Courtland Sutton breaks the tackle from Sauce Gardner. And from there, he is untouched the rest of the way. 28-26. The lead is back within 2. Jets back with it. First down. Short pass caught by Malachi Corley. Breaks a tackle, and the former Hilltopper still on his feet to around the 46-yard line. Part of the reason why the Jets really like Corley was because of his ability after the catch, showing it there. 3rd and 4 now at around the 40-yard line. Rodgers and Allen in the backfield looking to throw it. Goes short. It's nearly intercepted. Chris Abrams-Drain had a pick 6 right in his hands, but he can't hang on. That will force a punt, though. Similarly to us, the Jets want to win the field position battle, and this looks like a pretty good punt down at the 15-yard line where it goes out. So the Broncos are going to have to start inside the 20 with 2 to go in the 3rd. Nix under pressure, rolls right, trying to get out of the sack, and he does! Bo Nix with a first down run to the 26. I've been really impressed by Bo Nix's ability as a runner through the first few games of the year, and that'll wrap up the 3rd. 28-26, Denver certainly still in this matchup against a really strong Jets team on the road, no less. We'll see if we can complete the comeback and win this game, improving to 500. 3rd and 8 from the 39. Bo Nix looks to throw it, goes short. It's McLaughlin who only gets around 4. Nice tackle there by the veteran linebacker C.J. Mosley in his 11th NFL season out of Alabama as the Jets get it back. From the 33, Rodgers connects with Garrett Wilson, who breaks the tackle from Surtain, and Wilson brings it to the 44-yard line. A big gain there for the Jets. Denver knows they've got to hold these guys out of the end zone, keep it a 1-score game at the very least. Rodgers is incomplete on 3rd down. Looks like it went off of Corley's arm or something. He was open, but he can't make the play. So after a couple of penalties, Denver has it at the 7. Got to get out of safety territory. 2nd and 24, this pass is caught by Reynolds with a nice play after the catch and a juke move as he gets it to the 22, and all of a sudden, it's now a 3rd and much more manageable for the Broncos. 3rd and 9 with under 6 to go. Nix, alone in the backfield, calls for an audible. Looking downfield, Marvin Mims wide open with the first down. and he gets it to the 45-yard line. Good response after the flags by Denver to keep the possession going. 4.5 to go, 3rd and 9. Nix looks to throw it, goes right, looking to run again, and he will get another first down. Bo Nix, the dual threat quarterback, has been a monster on the ground today. 3rd and 5 now at the 38. Nix looks to throw it. He's got time, goes short. It's caught for another first down. Tim Patrick hangs on, and the Broncos now officially in field goal range. It has been a super efficient second half for Bo Nix. He is not missing many throws. 3rd and 10 for the 32. Nix gets away from the sack, looks to run with it, and he is nearly picked. That was a ballsy throw. He should have just kept going with his legs. But nonetheless, Denver has a chance to take the lead. It's a 49-yarder here for Big Nuts Lutz. He's 4 for 4 today on field goals. A busy afternoon for him. And this one is right down Main Street. 5 for 5 for Will Lutz. And the Broncos lead it 29-28 as the Jets offense returns with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left. Let's see if Aaron Rodgers can look to lead another potential game-winning drive for the Jets. On first down from the 25. Wide open is Braylon Allen. Past the 50 to the 42. The Jets are not far off from field goal range already. Disastrous start to the possession for the defense. Following play, Rodgers and empty, looks to throw it up the middle. It's caught by Conklin, and now the Jets are definitely in range. If they manage this clock well, they can make it to where the Broncos don't get the ball back with much time, if any. Another nice throw. It's Xavier Gipson with the first down, and that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning. Denver has the lead, but the Jets with it in the red zone, only trailing by 1, and Rodgers is now in the zone as they look to run the ball and choose some clock. Braylon Allen gets around 4, but we've got a flag. This one's coming back. It's a big holding call against the Jets, and we are going to accept the flag. It's Joe Tippmann, the center, called for the penalty. 1st and 19 after the flag now. They'll go back to the ground, and Allen is stuffed. Alex Singleton brings him down. Ever since Breece Hall got hurt, the Jets really have not tried to run the ball at all. Now they are, obviously, and it's not really working. Allen on 2nd and 21 only gets 1. Singleton brings him down again as Denver burns their second timeout. 3rd and 20. They will go back to Allen, and he gets around 5. Alex Singleton with another tackle, responsible for all 3 there, as the Broncos use their 3rd and final timeout, and that'll bring out the field goal team for the Jets. For the lead, Greg, the leg, Zuerlein. His kick from 38 is good. And the New York Jets are up by 2. It's now 31-29, but we've got time. 99 seconds left on the clock, and all we need is 3. The one problem is no timeouts remaining. 3rd and 7. Nix on the run. Incomplete. Looking for Reynolds. Good coverage, though, by Sauce Gardner. And the game comes down to this. 4th and 7 at the 26 with Week 4 on the line. Nix calls for an audible. Looks to throw it. Has an open man. Up the middle. It's Mims. First down for the Broncos. Marvin Mims to the 48. And Denver's got to go no huddle. Quick throw back to Mims. Another first down, but he couldn't get out of bounds. Nonetheless, the Broncos have it at the 40, getting close to field goal range, but this clock is moving fast. Under 20 to go. Nix looks short. He has Sutton, who gets by Reed, and is out of bounds at the 12. A huge play for Courtland Sutton, and now Denver is firmly in field goal range, and we're not going to waste any time. The field goal unit is out on the field now to likely win the game. Will Lutz has been awesome in this matchup. He's 5 for 5 so far. It's a chip shot from 29 for the win. It's no good! Will Lutz misses it wide left. And the Jets hang on to win this game over the Broncos. 31-29. Denver did all that on the last possession just to miss a chip shot field goal to lose the game. You can see the expression there from Coach Bonnet. This is a game the Broncos should have won. Other than the first 5 minutes, we were comfortably the better team in this game, but ultimately, we struggled too much early, and we choked when it mattered with the kick. And with that, the Broncos fall to 1-3 on the young season, losing a very winnable game against the Jets. This one's going to sting for sure. I mean, look at Bo Nix. He did everything in his power to win this game, and we still didn't get the job done. Bo Nix was lights out in the second half, and if you take away the interception on the first play, this was comfortably Bo Nix's best game as a pro, doing it against a great defense. 500 plus yards of total offense, and it still wasn't enough. Super efficient game from Aaron Rodgers, especially despite the fact that the Jets did not run the ball. They really never had the ball for the most part. We had possession for over 27 minutes. That's more than 2/3 of this game where we were on offense. I mean, Bo Nix threw the ball 50 times, for Christ's sakes, completing 62% of his passes for a career-high 367 yards. Again, really good showing from Bo. And Rodgers was quite solid, too, with the 4 scores. I thought our run game definitely was better than it's been. Bo Nix had a good game on the ground, and, of course, the Jets didn't really run it at all. Garrett Wilson and Tyler Conklin played well. As for us, Cortland Sutton with a great game. Mims played well. Obviously, when you throw the ball 50 times, you're going to have a number of receivers show out. Rough day for Olu Fashanu. He allowed 3 sacks. The pass rush, I thought, was really good in the first half. Second half certainly fizzled down. But we got some good plays out of Jonah Ellis. Baron Browning with some pressures. But the interception by Chuck Clark at the beginning of the game certainly hurt us. And obviously the missed kick by Will Lutz ended up being the difference. And again, he was so good for most of the game. He was 5 for 5, including one from like 54 before the miss. But ultimately, that's the one that mattered. We had 4 starters suffer injuries in this game. Mike McGlinchey, Zach Allen, Matt Peart, and Jonathan Cooper. So now we are without a starting edge rusher, a starting defensive lineman, our starting right tackle, and the backup right tackle for McGlinchey. Not ideal. So now our third string right tackle, Nick Gargiulo, the 7th round rookie out of South Carolina, will start. His first matchup will be against Max Crosby this week. God help us all. Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Jamin Davis, and Minka Fitzpatrick win the Players of the Week, as that sends us into Week 5, and we now have tied for the worst record in the AFC. Only 3 unbeatens, the Lions, the Ravens, and the Commanders, who have only allowed 44 points. The Panthers and the Cardinals are the only winless teams, although Carolina's actually had one of the highest scoring offenses in the NFL. Bryce Young leads the league in passing, but their defense has been so bad. So we're going to make a roster move here going into Week 5. We signed Lewis Cine to the practice squad a couple of weeks ago. We're going to bring him to the active roster, but for the sake of realism, I'm going to give him normal development. And now the plan is that PJ Locke is basically getting benched. He has been a liability in coverage through the first few weeks of the year. Since he's always around the ball, he's 3rd in the NFL in tackles, but I think that's more so because of all the plays he's allowed. So the plan is J.L. Skinner, who got some reps this past week, will move to the practice squad. Ronnie Hickman, who's been playing a lot of sub linebacker, will move to free safety, and Lewis Cine will be getting snaps in the box as the new sub linebacker. We've got a press conference here 4 weeks into the year. Do you feel like you have a solid idea of what our team looks like? Honestly, no. Not at all, because every game has been super close so far. On one hand, our only win came into overtime, but the other hand, we've been very competitive in our 3 losses. So really, I don't think we know much of anything about this team, and I still have no clue what our final record is going to look like. We haven't really shown a lot to suggest that we're going to be really good or really bad. The Raiders are 1-3 coming into this game. They lost to the Browns earlier today. Of course, Gardner Minshew won the QB battle for them. They've got plenty of star power with Max Crosby and Devontae Adams, but the rest of the roster is certainly lacking. Running back Alexander Madison will not play, so it'll mostly be the Zamir White show, although we might see a little bit of the rookie Dylan Lobb. Devontae Adams also will not play. He is hurt as well. Jacoby Myers will be the top receiver, and I think Trey Tucker is a guy who we're going to have to watch out for. So Max Crosby is healthy, but otherwise this team certainly lacks star-level talent. They do have some good rookies, though. Brock Bowers, the talented tight end, is going to be a matchup nightmare for our linebackers who have really struggled to cover certainly inferior tight ends up to this point. Should be a fun one back at home, repping the throwback uniforms for the first time this year, as the Raiders and Broncos, both sitting at 1-3, look to win their second games of the year. 2nd and 9, here's Bo Nix. He goes short for Jaleel McLaughlin, who gets the first down, breaking tackles. Great play after the catch as he brings it to around the 41. 3rd and 4 now. Nix alone in the backfield here as he looks to throw it. Has time, now under pressure. Pocket collapses, and he's sacked. Tyree Wilson and Max Crosby bring him down for half a sack each. That'll lead to a punt, stalling the drive for the Broncos, and the Raiders get it for the first time today. 3rd and 3 from the 26. Minshew goes short. It's caught by Bowers, who takes a shot. Brendan Jones with the big hit. It's only a gain of 1, and the Raiders' opening possession ends with a 3-and-out. Denver back with it. 3rd and 4. Nixon empty, as he will look to throw it. Tries to go short for Dulcich, but he cannot hang on. Big hit from the defensive back. Dulcich now the full-time starting tight end today, as Adam Troutman got injured on the first drive of the game. He will not return, and that means it's Dulcich time. Raiders back with it. Minshew goes deep. He's got Myers, who gets by Riley Moss and is wrapped up at the 42-yard line. Big play there for Jacoby Myers as he gets 34. And that'll move the chains for Las Vegas, their first down of the game. Now from the 42, Minshew calls for motion. He will look to throw it once more. Looking for the left side this time. It's Tucker, who is hit hard by Chris Abrams' drain, but not before getting it to the 27-yard line. Following play here for the Raiders. Minshew looks to throw it under pressure to the right. He's got space and will run. Gardner Minshew into the red zone. He gets 21. And the Raiders have it at the 5 as Browning's able to chase him down. 1st and goal now for the Raiders. Minshew hands it off for Zamir White. Breaks the tackle, and White is in for a score. The Las Vegas Raiders strike first here in Denver as they lead at 7-0. And now the Bronco offense looks to respond after a couple of stalled possessions to start the game. From the 30-yard line, Nix looks to throw it here to open the drive. Looking downfield under pressure, he fires for Reynolds, who gets a gain of around 16 yards, and that'll move the chains for a first down. Now at midfield, 2nd and 7 for the Broncos. Nix drops back again. He finds some room to run. Scrambling, now runs upfield, and look at him go! Bo Nix tracked down by Crosby, but not before getting to the 17. A gain of 33 for Nix. Following play, it's caught by Dulcich. He gets around 6, and Greg Dulcich is hurt on the play. So Greg Dulcich, being the full-time starter, went about as well as you would expect. His day is done, and Denver has one remaining healthy tight end on the roster, Lucas Kroll, who will be the starting tight end the rest of the way. 3rd and inches, Nix runs for the first down, slides at the 4, as his rushing ability continues to be surprisingly dynamic for this offense. And that'll wrap up the first quarter. Raiders lead 7-0, but the Broncos are marching on the doorstep. Got it inside the 5. Problem is, our top 2 tight ends are both hurt, and we only have 1 remaining. So we'll see how that ultimately goes throughout the rest of this ball game. As Denver's now got it at the 2. 2nd and goal. Nix alone in the backfield. He's going to keep it, and he gets nothing. Might have lost a yard. Max Crosby and friends bring him down. Big Christian Wilkins was there as well. Crosby now in the zone. That's not good. As it is 3rd and goal from the 3. Nix rolls right. Caught by Lucas Kroll, who walks in for a Bronco touchdown, and we are tied at 7. Lucas Kroll, the tight end for the rest of this game at least, is the one with the first score of the day. Maybe this guy won't be so bad after all, as we are knotted up early in the 2nd here at the Mile High City. A good drive here from Bo Nix and the Bronco offense as the Raiders return with possession. From the 25, it's a handoff for Zamir White. Has space to the right side. Big run for White as he is wrapped up at the 42-yard line by Ronnie Hickman, playing in the back end of the secondary today rather than closer to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 6, back to Zamir White with Moore's room, and he is wrapped up at the 41. Zamir White is cooking this offense so far as Jackson Powers Johnson, the rookie guard out of Oregon, hurt on the play for Las Vegas. From the 29, Minshew on the wheel route, fires, and it's hauled in by Trey Tucker, who gets it to the 12. Riley Moss slow to react. Moss getting a lot of snaps today. So far, he really hasn't looked too good. 3rd and 2 from the 4. Minshew under pressure. He is sacked. The big man, DJ Jones, brings him down. He's got some words with Minshew after the play, and that will keep the Raiders out of the end zone. They'll need to bring out the field goal team. Daniel Carlson on to kick this one from 29 for the lead. It is good, and the Raiders are back ahead. It is now 10-7. So the Broncos get it back. Javonte Williams breaks the tackle, gets a few, and now he appears to be banged up. Another injury for this offense, and his day is likely over. So that's the starting running back, the number 1 tight end, and the number 2 tight end. Not ideal, and it'll likely be a committee the rest of the way with McLaughlin, Pirine, and Estime. As here's Jaleel McLaughlin with a huge run on third down. Brings it to the opposing 43. McLaughlin certainly will be used more. He's our big play weapon in the backfield. As on 2nd and 7, Nix wants it all. He's got it! Sutton to the 1! A gain of 38 yards for Cortland Sutton. Great read there by Bo Nix. He recognizes the cover 1 early. He sees that there's going to be nobody in space of Sutton's route, and if he wins the rep against the corner, Cortland Sutton will be open. Really good decision and a really good throw by Bo Nix. He can send it downfield. Everybody calls him a check down merchant, but he can sling it. 1st and goal from the 1. It's Samaje Perine who dives into the end zone for a touchdown, and the Broncos take their first lead of the afternoon. It's 14-10. Minute 38 left to go here in the first half. Minshew from the 37 under pressure. He is sacked. A loss of 9, and it's Nick Bonito who brings him down. Following play here for the Raiders after the sack. Minshew looks to throw it. He has an open man. It's Brock Bowers, and he's going to make up all the yards and then some, getting 17 as the Raiders have to use an injury timeout for standout center Andre James. 3rd and 2. The screen is incomplete. Some miscommunication there and some pressure lead to the end of the possession. Broncos look to add to their lead. They've got a minute 12 left to go in the half as they'll start with a run. And the Raiders don't see it coming as Jaleel McLaughlin gets around 13 yards and Denver uses a timeout. 40 seconds and 2 timeouts to go from the 35-yard line. Nix looking to move quickly here on 1st down. It's a screen for Jaleel McLaughlin, who's able to break the tackle from Wilson. Can he get out of bounds? He won't. And that'll force Denver to flush another timeout. Good job there by Tyree Wilson with the initial hit to cause McLaughlin to lose balance. Now it is a 3rd and 10 for the 36. Play action. Flag on the play. Nix looks downfield. It is broken up for Troy Franklin. And with that, I don't think the flag will ultimately matter. It's a holding on the offense. The Raiders will end up declining it. And that'll wrap up what has been a competitive first half here in Denver. The Broncos lead it over their division rivals 14-10. Bo Nix with another pretty strong start up to this point. Jaleel McLaughlin looks awesome, and the defense hasn't been too bad for the most part either. Again, why is the map so dark? Let's take a look at our halftime report around the rest of the NFL. We're going to start in San Francisco with an NFC West battle. 2 severely underperforming teams, the 0-4 Cardinals and the 1-3 49ers. Certainly surprised to see San Francisco struggling this much, but we've got a good one here in Santa Clara, knotted up at 14. I'm really surprised with Arizona's struggles. This is a team that I was really hopeful for coming into the year. I feel like they showed some positive flashes with Jonathan Gannon. I thought they had a great draft class, but they've been mediocre up to this point, but they haven't been as disappointing as the contending Niners. Let's head up to Seattle. Geno Smith dislocated his hip in Game 2. It's been the Sam Howell show ever since, and today Howell has looked the part. Seattle with 3 touchdowns over the last 8 minutes of the first half, including this one to Kenneth Walker. 21-10, Seattle leads the Giants. Geno Smith will be back next week, but if Sam Howell continues to produce, while Geno's job isn't in jeopardy for now, with Seattle only 1-3, who knows? Maybe there's a switch towards the middle of the year. And in LA, 2 of the stronger teams in the NFC, Packers and Rams, both 3-1. And we've got a good one up to this point. Green Bay leads narrowly with this touchdown from Jordan Love to Christian Watson. 14-10, your score in favor of the Packers. We'll see which team improves to 4-1 with both Love and Matthew Stafford each performing at a high level up to this point. As we go into the second half of our game, I feel like we're in a pretty solid spot. Pretty good second quarter there for the most part. But I feel like the run defense has been kind of soft. Zamir White has been really good so far. And while Gardner Minshew hasn't been dominant as a passer, he has been efficient. He's only thrown a couple incompletions so far. As for us, I like what I've seen from Bo Nix, but I certainly want to see him look to improve in the intermediate area. We need the run game to produce without Javonte Williams, our lead back. And then defensively, I'm more focused on stopping the run. When we've been able to stop the run, our defense has been a lot more successful this year than in the games we haven't. Well, that's not a good start. Zamir White to the 38-yard line. He had so much space up the middle. What were, the linebackers doing? Aren't you supposed to meet him at the second level? 2nd and 9, play action. Minshew looks to throw it under pressure. Wants it all. He's got Bowers to the 1. And unfortunately for the Broncos, this play will stand because the flag was after the throw. Roughing the passer on DJ Jones. That's not going to move the Raiders up at all, considering, well, they got it to the 1. But now they're at the half-yard line, I guess, as Zamir White walks it in for a score. And the Las Vegas Raiders take the lead as it's 17-14. And the Broncos get it back, looking to rebound on offense with 7.5 to go in the third. But they've got a 3rd and 13 to start. Nick's alone in the backfield looking to throw it. He's under a lot of pressure and has to sail it into the ground, throwing out of what could have been a potential sack for the NFL's sack leader, Max Crosby, who is 6.5 this year, including half of one today. Oh my goodness, what a play in the backfield by John Franklin Myers. He stuffed that play so quickly, Minshew didn't even have time to hand the ball off. A loss of 4 for, I guess, Gardner Minshew. Now a 3rd and 1. They'll go to Zamir White, and he will not get the first down. Was he very clearly not ahead of the yard to gain? I feel like he got 2 or 3 there. I mean, I'm not complaining, but odd placement of the ball. But, hey, we take those. Denver back with it from the 14. Nix looks short. It's caught by Lucas Kroll, who breaks a tackle and gets the first down, gaining 19 yards. I've got to say, Lucas Kroll has made some nice plays, honestly showing more flashes than both Adam Troutman and Greg Dulcich have through the first 4 games of the year. From the 43, it's an RPO handoff for McLaughlin, and he is smothered in the backfield for a loss of a yard. He's wrapped up on the play by Trayvon Merrick, the 4th-year defensive back out of TCU. 3rd and 2 from the 34. It's a handoff for P. Ryan, and he will barely get the first down. And the Broncos are going to get some additional yards because Robert Spillane face masked him going to the ground. It's an additional 15 there for the Broncos, and they now have it in the red zone. Now at the 10, 2nd and 2. Nix looks to throw, and he goes short. It's Marvin Mims, who will waltz into the end zone for a Bronco touchdown. Denver takes the lead late in the 3rd as Marvin Mims is in for the score. Bo Nix with his 2nd passing touchdown of the afternoon. And it is 21-17 in favor of the Broncos. 1:19 left to go in the 3rd here for the Raiders. They'll start this possession at around the 23. Minshew gets it to Zamir White, and he is going backwards for a loss of yards. Baron Browning brings him down, as that'll lead to a 3rd and 8 with time winding down here in the 3rd. We'll see what the Raiders have in store here as it's a play-action fake. Minshew looks to throw it, dances around towards the right side. He's going to look to run with it, and he will not get it. Lewis Seen and Patrick Surtain are both there to bring him down, and that'll wrap up the 3rd. We've got ourselves a good one here in Denver. 21-17, Broncos lead it, and Denver will start with the ball in the 4th quarter. We'll see if the Broncos are able to hold on to this lead or if the Raiders can look to kickstart a comeback as both teams look for their 2nd wins on the year. So we'll see what Denver can do here as they start with possession of the football here in quarter number 4. 2nd down and 4 from around the 25-yard line. Nix will hand it off for Jaleel McLaughlin. He's got plenty of space, trying to push his way forward for a gain of 13. Ever since the Javonte Williams injury, I was expecting a committee, but it's really been the McLaughlin show in the backfield, and for good reason. He's playing really well. Play action. Nix rolls to the right, hoping to get some space, but Max Crosby tracks him down. It's a sack and a loss of 2 for Denver, and now it is a 3rd and 10 with under 8 minutes to go here in this ball game. Nix with Crosby in the zone looks downfield, broken up in the secondary, incomplete. I believe that's Jacorian Bennett who got a hand on it. Nix wanted to get the big play. He underthrew it, and the Raiders get it back. Gardner Minshew connects with Brock Bowers. What on the planet is Hickman doing? Bowers still on his feet to the 40. An embarrassing display of tackling, if you can even call it that, from both Hickman and Brandon Jones, as he's finally tracked down by Riley Moss. Following play, Minshew looks for the sidelines. It's caught for another first down. Jacoby Myers, one of the more underrated receivers in the league, in my opinion, gets it to the 23. Dylan Laub, the rookie out of New Hampshire, in the backfield with Minshew here for Las Vegas, with Tucker in motion on the wheel route. Uncovered, and he hangs on to the 2. Could have been a touchdown if Minshew was able to not overthrow the pass, but Tucker does a great job of hanging on. 1st and goal, under 6 to go. Zamir White walks it in. It's a hat trick. His 3rd touchdown of the game. Our team cannot play against running backs with the last name White. Rachaad White had 3 touchdowns against us in week 3, and now Zamir White has 3 today. It's not like either of these guys are particularly good starters either, oddly enough. As Nix throws out of the sack on 3rd down, Tyree Wilson with the pressure. That leads to a 4th down at the opposing 45, and you know what? We're going to go for it. I don't trust the defense to get a stop because our run defense has been putrid the entire game. Nix calls for an audible. He looks to throw it in what could be Denver's last chance on offense. He's taking a shot for the end zone. Broken up. Marvin Mims got his hands on it. Certainly would not have been an easy catch, but Nix placed it where it needed to go as the Raiders get the stop and look to finish this game off. Run defense, gotta step up as Laub loses yards early. That's a good start. Baron Browning with the initial hit, and Nick Bonito finishes off the play. It's a loss of 3. Now a 3rd and 13 here for Las Vegas. A stop here would be ginormous. Here's Gardner Minshew, looks to throw it. It's a screen. Dylan Laub hangs onto it, and he gets only around 2. He's wrapped up by Riley Moss. And that's going to bring us to the 2-minute warning. We're going to let the clock run down rather than burn one of our timeouts. I want to hold on to all 3 of them here. So Denver's going to start with bad field position at the 9. Now from the 18, 3rd and 1, with 1:23 left to go. Nix looks to throw it. He goes short. It's McLaughlin. 1st and more. He's out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 25. So Denver's now firmly out of safety territory, and now they can actually try to, move the ball. Following play. Here is Nix. Up the middle. He's got Kroll. Down the field to the 45. A huge play for Lucas Kroll as the Raiders have to call a timeout with Tyree Wilson hurt. That stops the clock at 1:12. All Denver needs is 3 to tie, and they're getting closer. Lucas Kroll again, another solid gain. He gets 8. Denver hurries back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 2. Nix misfires for McLaughlin. We're not necessarily in comfortable field goal range yet, so I'd love to get a 1st down here on 3rd and 2 with 48 seconds left as it's a run up the middle. He's got it easily. It's a gain of 10 for Jaleel McLaughlin, and Denver's going to go no huddle. They wasted a lot of time there, under 30 to go. Play action from the 28, back to Kroll as he gets 7, and Denver uses their first timeout. They've still got 2 in their back pocket, along with 20 seconds left on the clock. 2nd and 3 from the 21. It's a run with Samaje Perine, and he is going backwards. A loss of 3. Denver wanted to fool the Raiders. Does not work, and they've got to use their 2nd timeout. 3rd and 4, down to around 15 seconds. Nix looks for the end zone. It's broken up, incomplete. The Raiders are able to get the stop as it's Jacorian Bennett who makes the play, and that brings out the field goal team. Coach Antonio Pierce calls a timeout. Will Lutz missed the potential game-winning field goal last week from 29. Now he looks to tie it from 39. Will Lutz for the tie. It's going to be close, and it scrapes through. That was a lot closer than it needed to be, but thankfully, Will Lutz makes the kick. We are tied at 24, likely headed for an overtime, bearing a miracle for the Raiders with 3 seconds to go. Here is Gardner Minshew. He's going to heave it up, downfield, hit as he throws, broken up, incomplete, and we are headed back to overtime for the 2nd time this year. Our lone win this season, of course, came in OT, week 1 against Seattle, so we know how to play here with this extra football, and hopefully we can get win number 2 with similar circumstances. Let's see if the Raiders know the drill regarding tails never fails, and clearly not. And it works out for them. It lands on heads. They will start with the ball. Obviously, that's not ideal because this isn't playoff overtime rules. If the Raiders score a touchdown, they win the game. We don't even touch the ball. Now, I will say, in week 1, the Seahawks started with it on offense, and we still won. So it's certainly possible, but we're going to need a good drive out of the defense. Here's the kickoff for Trey Tucker. Has some room up the middle. Shrugs off the defender and is finally wrapped up at the 45. A potentially touchdown-saving tackle there for the Denver special teams, but the Raiders get incredible field position at the 46 to be exact. So they're 54 yards away from winning this game. We'll see if they can do it. Gardner Minshew on second down. Up the middle. He's got Jacoby Myers with tight coverage from Chris Abrams-Drain. He gets it to the 35. The Raiders are already in field goal range, but again, I don't think they're thinking about 3. Following play, it's Zamir White to the left side. Breaks a tackle. Gets the first to the 24. White now over the century mark in yardage. He's got 101. The clock continuing to move, under 5.5 to go from the 23. Play action. Minshew, another first down. Myers inside the 10 to the 7. They are getting closer and closer. Can the Raiders finish this one off? First and goal now for Las Vegas. Minshew hands it off for White, and he gets nothing, maybe a yard. Gotta get the run defense to step up. We need some pressure up with the big guys. Second and goal. Back to White, and he is wrapped up at around the 2. We've got a flag, though. This one's coming back. It's going to be a holding call against Las Vegas on Andres Pete, backing up Jackson Powers-Johnson at left tackle, and we're going to accept the penalty. Second and goal. Zamir White to the left side. Another flag as he gets it to around the 6, and once again, it's going to be a holding, this time on Alec Lindstrom, the backup center who replaced Andre James. Again, we're going to accept it. I would rather push the Raiders back, even if it gives them an extra chance. Minshew for the end zone. He's intercepted! Brandon Jones picks it off, and it looks like he will try to return it. Jones is wrapped up at the 10. Maybe he shouldn't have taken it out, but still, the defense comes up with the stop, and the Broncos offense gets it back, still with a tie game. I thought the Raiders had this game won, but Minshew wanted to be aggressive, go for the home run. He sends it right over to Brandon Jones, who thought he had space. It only looked like a bunch of linemen out there towards the right side of the field. That's why he tried to return it, but ultimately that backfired. Second and 10 from the 10. Nix has to throw out of the sack. Safety could have ended the game. I think he would have been just shy of the end zone, but still, that would have been bad. Third and 10. Nix on the run under more pressure. He's got to go short for Troy Franklin, who only gets 2. And the Raider defense does get the stop, and they'll get the ball back with plus field position. So now, once again, control of this game back in the hands of the Raiders. Under 3 to go. Zamir White bounces off a blocker. Bounces off another! What a run for Zamir White. He's up to 114 yards on the day. And that brings us to the 2-minute warning. Still no winner. The Raiders, though, certainly in better shape right now than Denver, as they're getting close towards field goal range. And now any kind of score, including a field goal, wins the game. Up the middle, broken up. That's a big play. Bowers would have had them in field goal range with the conversion, but it's jarred out. Lewis Cine in his Broncos debut may have just saved the game. Third and 7 now from the 41. Minshew calls for motion up the middle. First down for Las Vegas. Jacoby Myers to the 30, and now they are definitely in field goal range, especially considering they have one of the best kickers in the NFL. And now it's about running the ball and being smart. Here is Zamir White. Gets it to the 15, but we've got another flag. The Raiders are holding at quite literally the worst possible times. This could knock them out of field goal range as Michael Mayer sends them back to the 39. Second and 15. Raiders still got to get a few yards just to put themselves in comfortable range, and that play should do that. Dylan Laub brings him to the 30, and now they're back to a 3rd and 10. Back to Laub up the middle, and he stumbles forward for a gain of 6. But that should put them in comfortable range for Daniel Carlson to try to win the game. Broncos call a timeout, attempting to ice the kicker. Obviously, it worked on us last week. Let's hope we can get some reverse magic here. Daniel Carlson looks to win it for the Las Vegas Raiders from 41 with under a minute to go here in overtime. His kick is up. No doubt about it. Perfectly down the middle, and the Raiders win this game 27-24. The Broncos drop their 4th consecutive game and fall to a record of 1-4. The 2 losses today hurt because they were both winnable games. We should have beaten the Jets if not for the missed kick. And then this game we had an opportunity with the interception by Brandon Jones, but he, in hindsight, should not have returned the kick, and the offense did nothing off of the turnover. Certainly not our best ending as the losing streak grows and we now have the worst record in the AFC. But overall, I thought Bo Nix, again, played really well. Back-to-back strong games from him. Gardner Minshew was also quite good, super accurate. His passer rating was lower than Nick's, but I would argue he was probably a little bit better. Zamir White with a big game on the ground, but we ran it well too. Even with the injury to Javonte, Jaleel McLaughlin put on a show, as did Lucas Kroll. 7 for 80 and a touchdown, while Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers lead the way for the Raiders. With Greg Dulcich likely healthy for next week, he's probably going to get a lot of snaps, but I still want to see a lot of Lucas Kroll as well. Max Crosby doing Max Crosby things. I mean, he was matched up with a 7th-round rookie. What else do you expect? The Brandon Jones interception, obviously a big play, but unfortunately, not enough. So the injury is Adam Troutman. He suffers an abdominal tear and will miss the next 4 games. But as I mentioned, Greg Dulcich will be healthy for next week, as will Javonte Williams. But we're probably going to utilize Jaleel McLaughlin more because he was electric in today's game. As here's a look at your scores around the league. As for the players of the week, Sam Howell wins it for Seattle. 4 all-purpose touchdowns. He's joined by Lamar Jackson, Ernest Jones, and Christian Harris. Howell has played 3.5 games for Seattle, and his numbers are really good. Again, Geno Smith is now healthy, but look out for Howell to potentially take that job if Seattle continues to struggle. So with that, we're 1-4. Again, tied for the worst record in the AFC. Hopefully we can fix that in the next episode. And I'm hoping next episode we can do our first prospect profile of the year. I want to wait until the draft class bug is fixed. I can't download any draft classes. Well, no one can because it's a bug for everyone. So I'm hoping that gets patched or fixed or whatever before the next episode. If it is, likely we will get a prospect profile along with Week 6 against the Chargers. If not, we may have another doubleheader, Week 7, our first primetime game of the year, Thursday night against the New Orleans Saints. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.